Welcome to Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone. We're live inside Muscatine Hy-Vee on 2nd Avenue in Muscatine, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Now, here's Tony Tone.
Good morning. Joel Krausar again, your guest host from Affordable Metal Manufacturing just up the road at 303 Cleveland Street. Tony Tone off again today, and so you get me. Again, hopefully no produce will be harmed during this broadcast, unlike Wednesday when we lost the pumpkin. It was a sad day for gourd kind, but we're going to take one step forward for produce today. We're going to make sure people for the ethical treatment of produce won't be upset with us today. It's a nice Friday. It's super, super dreary outside, but it's nice and bright and shiny in Hy-Vee this morning. Starbucks, rocking and rolling. Get your pick-me-up from the coffee shop here at the front of the store, and still some great breakfast deals going on this morning at the Market Grill Express. So come and enjoy the bright sunshine of the lights of Hy-Vee this morning. It's not too late to pick up some donuts to take in the break room. Hey, if you're listening to this right now, you're probably late for work. Show up with donuts. It might be a lot easier on you if you come with gifts and bearing a Friday fun for your break room. Today our guests are going to be from Muscatine Radiology. Jessica Whitman and Angie Verbeck are here this morning. We're going to go to them in just a second. And Sheriff CJ Ryan will be coming in later on this morning to talk a little bit more about things going on in his realm with the jail, the county jail that he oversees, the many deputies that serve and protect our community. So excited morning here on Friday. Again, Tony Tone off, so you get me, Joel Krausar. And let's just go right into it. It's October. I've got my pink socks on this morning, as most of us are thinking more aware of breast cancer, as October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And that's one of the reasons why we have the ladies from Muscatine Radiology and Jessica Whitman, who is the marketing director, representative, specialist.
Yeah,
what
all
fancy
those
words.
Things. Yeah, the corporate liaison is what they call me.
You even get a French title.
Isn't that great?
That's
It's pretty nifty. I think it says it right here on the name tag, but I get to do a lot of explaining about what that actually means.
And you bring a lot of knowledge to the community, and Angie, you bring an extensive amount of knowledge and experience as a mammography technician, and we're already a whole year into having the 3D mammography machine at Corridor Radiology. And if for some folks who may not know what that means, what is 3D mammography?
Well, a 3D mammography is, they take 1 millimeter slices through your breast tissue. So it's just a better way to visualize your mammogram, all the breast tissue. If you have a thicker, larger breast, I like to tell people it's like slicing a loaf of bread. We take, like I said, 1 millimeter slices through. So if there's a mass or a concern in the middle of your breast area, we can visualize it a lot better with the 3D.
And when you say slices, you're talking it's an image slice.
Not slices.
I don't
do any cutting.
Yeah.
No, it's a unique word, and it's something we have had the chance to talk about.
Right.
And by doing that, you're getting almost to the cellular level. So earlier detection, which is key in this disease, is really so much easier if you're able to detect it earlier. So that's the real benefit?
Correct.
As you've started working with this technology more and more, what are some things that you would tell a woman or a man, because breast cancer is something in males as well, what should they be thinking about, like in their self-examination, if they don't have time or they haven't quite scheduled their in-office imaging exam?
Well, breast self-exam should happen monthly, correct?
Right.
So your mammogram happens annually, your self-breast exam happens monthly. And I don't know, Angie, if you want to walk them through a little bit of what a self-breast exam looks like, or...
Well, this is where you can show on your hand. The self-breast exam, we like to tell you to try to do it on the same day every month. We have some little pamphlets that patients can use and put in their shower. But most ladies that I talk to, they do it just whenever they think they're in the shower. Mm-hmm. It's a good practice to get into.
And Jess, you may be able to answer this a little bit more. With the difference between a traditional mammogram and the 3D mammogram, Does insurance handle them similarly, or is this something you need to talk to your insurance provider about?
Sure. If you're worried about having an extra out-of-pocket cost, and an out-of-pocket cost is what you would be responsible for after insurance, or if you don't have insurance, or lack of insurance, or a health savings account, all of these different things are a factor in how much you're going to pay out of pocket. The 3D mammogram does have an extra cost associated for it for the 3D portion. A lot of times, more and more insurance companies are covering it, and a lot of times women are finding, since the exam is so much better than a 2D exam, they're willing to pay the extra $60 or whatever that cost may be. We're always happy to help you through that process. So if you're worried about an out-of-pocket cost, we want you to give us a call, and we'll either give you the codes you need to call your insurance company, or we actually have a tool that we can use that will give you an out-of-pocket cost estimate. And so if that's something you're worried about, give us a call. We'll walk you through it.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing, a factor too, is some people, they just hear it and they think, oh man, this is going to be so much more expensive. But, $50, $60, if that's truly what it is, depending on what your insurance plan is, that's money well spent when you think about the cure rates and the treatment rates being so much higher with early detection.
Right. And the callback rates tend to decrease if you do the 3D mammography as well.
So what is a callback rate?
A callback is when you have a screening mammogram, meaning nothing is wrong, you're not feeling any lumps, discharge, anything like that. The doctor reads the mammogram and wants you to come back in for additional views. Maybe not so much that he sees something suspicious, but you might have what's called fibrocystic tissue, which is thick tissue in your breast tissue that they can't see through. Even though we do the 1 millimeter slices, there might just be an area that he wants to make sure that there's nothing going on. So you get called back in for what's called additional views.
Well, that's one of the other great things about Muscatine Radiology is that you have doctors, radiologists on staff, on site, so that it's not something where a pool of images are all going to some data center where a radiologist who doesn't know the area and maybe not even know the patient is evaluating. I mean, you guys have your doctors are truly a part of the coordinated care team for the patient.
Right. So our radiologist sits right across from Angie's room where she sits, and so oftentimes you'll see her running back and forth, checking images. Was this okay? Are you looking for anything different? And the doctor can do the same. He can come in and say, hey, before that patient leaves, let's take a look at this. So we're able to serve you a little bit better for that reason. It's really, really important to ask if you're shopping for radiology. Hey, is the radiologist going to be on site? Can I talk to him if I want to? If I'm here for a diagnostic, will I get my results before I leave?
Well, and that's something in medical world. People don't, any other thing that we consume as a consumer, we shop around. We look at ads. We're going to talk about an ad here in the grocery store in a little bit. We're all very informed as to the consumer goods that we buy, but when it comes to our personal health, sometimes we almost follow a sheep-like mentality and we just go wherever they kind of point us in the direction. You can pick your provider, and radiology is one of those providers. If you have more comfort, or like you said, advocate for yourself. If it's something that's important to you, go find it, because it may actually be more affordable than some of the other options that are available to you. Do you guys still do the cash fee schedule then?
Yeah, we absolutely do. And I would give you the cost for a mammogram, but I can't remember it right now.
And that just basically just means that
it's $185.
$185
for a mammogram. And that would be, you wouldn't even file it on your insurance. That's just your cash price. So maybe you have a high deductible and it would actually save you some money to just pay out of pocket right up front.
Yeah, so it's cash credit or check the day you're seen. And that's if you're wanting to forego using insurance for any reason, whether it be you're underinsured, uninsured, your company is a health savings account, or you just don't want to deal with your deductible that day. That's a really great option for many people. And it's highly discounted as well.
Right. And so October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So that's when a lot of focus is on this. But throughout the year, Angie, how long have you been doing this? I mean, I don't want to highlight. I know how old you are.
Keep in mind, when she answers this question, she started being a mammographer at the age of 15.
Okay, yes.
24 years.
So 24 years. How have you seen your job change, and also how this disease has changed over those 24 years?
Well, obviously the technology is fantastic. When we first started doing mammography, it was just basically like getting a hand x-ray. You laid the patient's breast on the table and shot the image, and that was it. There was no compression, and throughout the years, physicians realized that compression was the key to getting a good mammogram.
And then you throw this 3D imaging into the mix, and it's a game changer.
I don't know how we can take a next step. I really don't.
I'm sure it's like some virtual reality type
Right.
thing.
I mean, for us, we see it, so we get excited. Some patients might look at it and not quite understand, but when I bring them back and show them the picture compared to the 2D, they're like, okay, I'm glad I did it. It makes sense.
Well, and it's an approach to change someone's health. This
Right.
isn't a superfluous, facility Cold War facility arms race where it's like, well, I got to get the bigger, better machine. These bigger, better machines are designed for one reason, and that's to save people's lives.
Right.
I like to let ladies see the image. I like to bring them in on the exam because I don't want them to think I'm just saying, just do it because it's the best, and that's it. I want to give them an explanation, a visual of why they should spend the extra money to help them.
So how can someone, if they're looking at their schedule, what's the process to call? I mean, my experience with you guys when I've had like a knee or ankle X-ray, I can get in the same day sometimes. Is that still the case with the mammography?
Absolutely. As long as you're not having any issues, like I said, a lump, any kind of problem with either breast, you're more than welcome to come in right now if you wanted to walk in. We can squeeze you in.
Trisha, you're sitting there waiting for people to come in right now, right? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. She's ready for you.
There's some issues with insurance, like we said. When we schedule patients, we always have them give their insurance a call just to double check to see if they can qualify for that 3D.
And if people want to, you guys have also some programs where maybe cost is an issue. There are some abilities to get discounted screening because public health and other organizations realize that a pound of prevention is worth, or an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Absolutely.
And so that is something you guys work with people too who may need some financial
Right.
assistance as well.
Yep.
How does that program work, Jess?
So there's a program called Care for Yourself. Is that what it's still called?
Yep,
Ange?
you
Okay.
bet.
And I know it's changed a little bit. So if you're familiar with the program, you might have a different experience with it. But it's a grant, and they just put a big bucket of funds in at the beginning of the year, and then it's income based. So if you need help, you can come in and fill out that form. They'll send it in, and then until the funds run out, it's coverable usually.
Right.
We were very fortunate to receive funds from the Wilton baseball and softball team, as well as the Wilton National Honor Society, and we just have a couple of things to tweak for that program, but we'll be able to take their funds. Our radiologist matched it, and then we actually will have about 40 mammograms that we can give to people in need. And when that happens, we're going to try to come on here again to make sure people know how to do it, and we'll be reaching out to the local, domestic violence shelter and places like that who can help us deliver these mammograms to people. So we're really excited about
And so
that.
that's something, maybe you're involved in a nonprofit organization. This would be a one that you can actually use to some of the funds you may fundraise. Like you mentioned, the Wilton baseball and softball teams with that generous donation. This would be a great opportunity for you to, as we're getting into the giving season, people are thinking more and more about philanthropy as quarter 4 enters the world. And this would be an opportunity people can partner with a local provider to give people some important health screenings that they need.
Well, we're all about knocking down the hurdles that are preventing people from getting these life-saving exams. 50% of women who are eligible to have screening mammograms do not get them. So whether it be we can't make it, we've got 100 kids, we can't afford it, we're afraid of how it feels. The patient experience is important to us, so we made our clinic as spa-like as possible. We have things put into place to help you with cost. You can walk in. We'll schedule you the same day. We'll schedule you 6 months in advance. So if you're hesitating for a reason, call us and we'll talk you out of that reason, I promise.
Yeah, and I've toured your facility, and it's almost like walking into a spa. Like it's the rooms are cold or warm depending on how you like it. You have blankets.
Warm.
Yeah.
Warm.
I have it
She,
warm.
in the middle of 90-degree heat, has a space heater at her desk.
Well, that might be a different issue. You and I will probably never agree on that.
Right.
What we can agree on is now is the time. Yeah, you look at your health insurance. Look at your plan through work. A lot of times you have an annual screening depending on what age you are,
Right.
and get it scheduled. There's no excuse.
No.
There really isn't.
Yeah, you can get it in, and the early detection is key. As you can see some pictures of the facility, it's just outstanding. I know that. Okay, so here's the thing. I look at the MRI machine there.
Yeah, that's a CT.
No,
Yeah, that's
excuse me,
your
the
CT.
CT machine. I should know this. I've been in
It's
all of them
okay.
many times. But when you look at these machines, you're never going into one of those when you're like, hey, this is the greatest day of my
Right,
life.
yeah.
And so it's important to have a facility and an environment where you're relaxed. You can see the sky on the
Right.
ceiling there. I mean, it's no one ever. I mean, you don't get your head put in the scanning machine because you're bored that day.
Right.
It's because you got headaches.
Well, I don't
or
know.
something's
Trisha
going
might
on.
actually do that sometimes.
Well,
She
maybe-
loves radiology.
Well, hopefully she doesn't love radiation that much. 'Cause you don't want to just chill.
She
under
would
the
do
CT.
MRI. MRI doesn't use
Right.
radiation. So.
What is it? Magnetic
Resonance imaging.
Yeah.
Not Renaissance, like the Renaissance Fair. I used to call it Renaissance imaging.
Us marketing people, we just make up words.
Sounded
sometimes.
cool, but
But Jessica Whitman and Angie Verbeck from Muscatine Radiology. Again, get your mammograms scheduled. Go see these ladies. They'll take care of you. I think that's what's the most important part is find a provider you're comfortable with and make sure that you're willing to have that dialogue with
Yes.
your providers because
It's important.
that's what makes it so important in
Right.
your
yeah,
healthcare.
be willing to have that dialogue with your friends, with your family. You know, you go home, talk to your wife. I
Right.
don't know if she's 40 yet, but if she is,
No.
she should be having mammograms.
I won't say how old she is, but she is not 40.
Okay, good. But when she is 40, you need to talk to her
Oh,
about
absolutely.
it.
Well, and I think about too, like for me, my first experiences with breast cancer was an elementary school student. I had a classmate who lost her mother
Yeah.
to breast cancer, and then fast forward 5 years, our 4th grade teacher passed away of breast cancer,
Yeah.
and then a few more years, our 3rd grade teacher, Amy Meyer, who we just had a big bike ride in Amy's honor, Amy passed away from breast cancer. So 1 in 5, that's the statistics, right? 1 in 5 women will be treated.
Yeah.
And so it's a significant disease.
And 75% of women who will be diagnosed with breast cancer have no family history.
Wow.
So that's a big statistic
That's a
there.
huge statistic because I think a lot of people
yeah.
think about.
We get a lot of patients that say, you know, I don't have a family history, so I'm sure it'll be fine. But unfortunately, someone's got to start.
Well,
the
and
family
maybe
history.
they do have a family history, but it's been masked by something else. So
Right.
you know that's been a factor of it. Because we're really only the last 50 years have really been able to actually say this is what it is.
Absolutely.
Right.
So it's important that you do this, and a big thank you to
Thank you.
to you guys for coming out,
Yeah.
and have a great weekend.
Absolutely,
And
for sure.
do you guys still have pink socks available? At the,
No, we're doing hair ties this year.
Go get your hair tie. I got pink socks from them last year. We'll put it.
wearing them right now.
We'll take a picture of it. And we'll put it on Facebook after the show. But they're the warmest socks that I've been given in a
Cool.
long time.
Good
So
deal.
I'm a big fan.
Good.
My
We
wife
love
makes fun of
that.
me because I wear them around all winter long. But grab your pink hair tie from Muscatine Radiology, and again, thank you guys so much
Thank you.
for coming out. We're going to head over to the Toyota of Muscatine cart cam as we await the arrival. Actually, he has arrived, but we await the placement of our friend CJ Ryan, Muscatine County Sheriff. So here is the Toyota of Muscatine cart cam as we move forward through your Hy-Vee Today this morning. Joel Krausar is your guest host. I am your guest host.
Yeah, we're done.
So there is the
I was like-
Toyota of Muscatine cart cam. As we're going down the canned aisles, your best source for your chili and all that stuff this winter as it gets warmer, and we're working over to produce. And I want you guys to pay attention when you walk into the store today and this weekend. What they've done at the Hy-Vee floral department. So many beautiful arrangements and flowers in honor and support of breast cancer awareness. There's a lot of pink hydrangeas and beautiful balloons on sale right there at the front of the store that they have done so well of arranging here from the Hy-Vee Floral Shop. And you're one stop for some of the best plant life and flowers here. We're getting ready to be into poinsettia and Christmas season, but right now in October we're celebrating breast cancer awareness with these beautiful pink arrangements. And I think Angie and Jess were going to pick a couple of those up on their way out the door to take back to their office. It'd be a great way to decorate your office this October. It's October 5th. It's a cold one and rainy one today. It's going to be like 62 degrees. Tomorrow is going to be about the same, storms. there is still a Muskie football game tonight, so don't forget to check that out. There's Jess and Angie showing off again, picking up their arrangements to take back to the office. And again, huge thank you to Muscatine Radiology for being a part of Hy-Vee Today this morning. Are any of those flower arrangements on the Fuel Saver ad, Ryan? If not, we can take a look at the rest of the Fuel Saver ad here as we finish up with the Toyota of Muscatine Kart Camp. The boys at Toyota of Muscatine have been busy this morning. They were out at the Muscatine Stadium as they sponsored a pep rally this morning. Sheriff, we are here.
How are you this morning?
Good. I'm filling in, so I'm excited to see it because you and I have always had some really good conversations. And I think that what we don't always realize with the county sheriff is that it's so much more than just supervising a bunch of deputies. I mean, you got a big job to manage with the jail and all that's going on. What's life like with the county sheriff's office right now?
Well, we're getting into fall here, so we're really, really busy. Unfortunately, with the rain, the farmers haven't been able to be in the fields very much. But we always like to remind people at this time of the year that when you're out on the roadways and you see the farm tractors and the heavy equipment, to just slow down, stay behind them until it's safe to pass them. Most of the farmers are really respectful. If they have an opportunity to pull over to the side of the road and let traffic by, they'll do that. But certainly we don't want to see any accidents with the heavy farm equipment. So just be patient and give them a little bit of time to get down the roadway, and things will be better for everybody.
Yeah, I experienced that yesterday. I was out driving around for work, going from appointment to appointment, and I got behind a combine who was just going from field to field, and the cars behind me were like trying to whip around. And it was a curvy county road. There was just no good way to do it. Yeah, it probably added 6 minutes to my drive, but it wasn't worth trying to do something reckless to get around.
Right. It just takes a couple minutes out of your day, and most people, when they're out and about running their errands and things, it's not an emergency. So if you can just calm down and use a little bit of patience, it's better for everybody.
Yeah, speed is really the best thing, the easiest thing to control while you're driving. And if you just slow down, like you said, it's a lot safer for everyone. And I know that you guys were working with other entities. You have to work with DOT, all of these other agencies. And as we get into this cooler weather, it won't be before we know it. Like, we're thinking about, getting that first layer of frost on the road, and it starts to get a little bit slick out there in the morning on your commute.
I like wintertime, and we get that first snow, and everybody's like, oh, it's so beautiful, and it's on the trees, and sometimes there's ice on the trees. Unfortunately for us, that means there's ice on the roads also. And that we have our christening, right, our first ice or our first snow of the year, and we end up with a lot of automobiles in the ditches, and of course that makes us very busy out covering those, and hopefully people can slow down a little bit for that as well, and we don't have anybody get injured or hurt during that time.
You've got a group of teammates and deputies who work for you and work with you. What are some things that you've seen this year that you're just really proud of in your department as we've moved forward through 2018?
Well, you talked about the jail earlier, and things have been really challenging at the jail. So the capacity of the jail is 255, and for the most part we've been running around 250 inmates per day. So it's very, very full. It can be kind of a stressful environment for those people at the jail, but those correctional officers that we have working do an outstanding job. We're recognized as one of the best run jails in the state of Iowa. When we got our report at the end of 2017, our net cost to operate the jail was running at the same level that it was a decade ago.
Wow.
So that's pretty impressive to see as well. And on the employment front, we have jobs open right now for correctional officers. It's a good job. The starting pay is about $19 an hour, and that's a job with full benefits, so that's a great job if you're interested in applying. We also have a job opening for deputy sheriff right now, and that's a great job as well. Our deputies do a tremendous job. We have 450 square miles of county to patrol, and they do an outstanding job for the citizens. And we get a lot of feedback from the citizens too, that they appreciate the job that's being done.
Well, and you guys have a presence, at the high school football games. There's deputies who I believe are volunteering some of their time, to keep some of those facilities safe and have some security. And what was it? You mentioned employment opportunities in law enforcement. What was it about law enforcement that was where you wanted to spend your professional career? How did you end up wanting to be in law enforcement?
When I was in high school, I had several different role models. I knew the county sheriff. I was in Cedar County. I knew the county sheriff. I knew the chief deputy. I knew most of the police officers in town. It was just kind of something that appealed to me, and those people were very receptive and took me in. They were mentors to me. So that's what I ended up, the course that I ended up pursuing in college, and ended up working in Muscatine County, and that was 32 years ago.
And the rest is history. How long
And
have
the
you
rest
been the
is
sheriff?
history. I took over as sheriff in May of 2015.
Okay, so you're heading into your 4th year, and next year will be 4 years.
Prior to becoming sheriff, I'd been the chief deputy, so the second in command of the agency for 6 years prior to becoming sheriff. But I've literally done basically every job inside the sheriff's office, so patrol and investigations, and obviously got promoted up through the course of the years, and eventually ended up being the sheriff.
When you look at, you mentioned the square mileage that you guys have to cover. What are some challenges that you guys have, and what are some ways that you guys have been able to overcome some of those challenges?
Well, sometimes staffing is a challenge to us. If we're on a busy night, a Friday or a Saturday night, we might have quite a few deputies out working. They have some extra people out working for special events, for holidays, things of that nature. But if we are in a staffing crunch and we have some people off hurt or on vacation and things of that nature, we might go all the way down to 2 deputy sheriffs to cover that 450 square miles. So we've developed excellent relationships with the outlying police departments. So Wilton and West Liberty Police Department, the Muscatine Police Department, the Iowa State Patrol, all those people are willing to come in and help us if we need help. So, and likewise, if they need help in their jurisdictions, we respond and help them also.
One thing that I've always appreciated about our local law enforcement is, we're coming up on Halloween in just a few weeks, and the sheriff's department, the police department, you guys are out on an evening like that, on trick-or-treat night and on Halloween night, because there is this traditions of vandalism and some of the bad things. But what I like to see is you guys are actually out interacting with the kids, interacting with the public. How important is that to the role of a sheriff's deputy and with law enforcement?
Well, community relations are big with us. One of our requirements is that our deputy sheriffs have to live inside Muscatine County, because we not only want them to work there, but we want them to be part of the community and interact with the citizens. And most of our deputies are very, very much on board with that. They like the community involvement, and they like to be out working with people. So we're heavily involved with Special Olympics Muscatine, and so we do a lot of work with them. We're also heavily involved every year with Viola Werner and the Toys for Kids program that's sponsored through the Salvation Army. So we try to do what we can to interact with the community and become part of the community. It makes it easier when they have a crime to report or when they're a victim of a crime, that they actually know the people that they're talking to, right, and they feel comfortable calling us.
There's a trust there that's developed there so early. Like you see, you guys have done so much with the public, and raising funds for things like Special Olympics and other organizations that serve people. In fact, just a couple years ago, you and I guest judged the chili cook-off together, at Sunnybrook. That was
right,
helped out some of the guests there and raised money for some charities.
And we've been out at Sunnybrook a lot too. You've been there. You've been there also, and so that's our senior citizen group basically. And I think it's very, very important to interact with those people also, and they love it when we come out and see them.
Well, I think the thing is as growing up, every kid plays cops and robbers.
Right.
Growing up, and some kids want to be the robber, some kids want to always be the cop, and others are it's just a game. But as you get older, you think about, I got a speeding ticket when I'm 16. That guy's a jerk, but it's not the case. That person's just doing their job, and those community relations help show people the person behind the badge, and not just the person who is enforcing the laws of the land.
Well, and that was part of my growing up also, because I was the kid that was getting the speeding ticket at 16. And eventually I thought, I'm going to have to do something here. Maybe I should change sides.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can't beat them, join them, right? That's one of those things.
Yeah, it's much better.
So you guys do so much for our community, and thanks again, CJ Ryan, Muscatine County Sheriff, for coming out. You can always see him out and about, come up, say hi. You always like to talk to folks. And what's your pick for the Hawkeye game tomorrow? I know you're a big Hawkeye fan.
Well, I'll tell you, the only good thing coming out of Minnesota is I-35. So I'm going to say Hawkeyes by 10.
I picked 31-3. This is the breakout game for Iowa. And I get to head up and go to the game tomorrow. So
well, that's outstanding.
Yeah,
I'll be busy. We have several events, and we have several events coming up in the community. We'll be posting those on our Facebook page. If anyone wants some additional information, they can also go to muscatinecountysheriff.com and take a look at our employment opportunities that we have there. But we'll be posting on our Facebook page where we'll be doing these community events throughout this month and the months to come.
Great. That's a great resource. When in my news writing days, I frequently visited that page just to know what was going on in our sheriff's office. And you guys do a great job of keeping the community informed. And that's one great resource that you guys use. CJ, thanks so much.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. CBI Bank and Trust. ILCAM coming up here against CJ. Thanks so much. I also will say this. I'm picking Iowa State to beat Oklahoma State tomorrow. I am an equal opportunity Iowa supporter this weekend. I really think that's the big upset of the weekend.
That'd be good. That'd be good.
I'm thinking Cyclones are going to pull it off against the Cowpokes of Oklahoma State. Let's check out the CBI Bank and Trust ILCAM. We're over there as we are at one of the checkout aisles. You got your huge thank you to the support that CBI Bank and Trust brings Hy-Vee Today, and you can see people getting some groceries, got your orange juice, everything. It's enjoyable to see. I like hosting this show because I get to see, when I'm ever at the grocery store, it's usually super late at night or it's right after church on a Sunday morning, and the weekday mid-morning crowd is a much different crowd than what I'm used to, and it's fun to be in this store and see the different, it's always humming, it's always busy here at Hy-Vee. And a lot of that is due to the Fuel Saver Plus Perks program. And if you haven't gotten your Fuel Saver Plus Perks card, make sure you get that. And there's a great Fuel Saver ad this week. And so you want to check that out. You can grab that at the front of the store, but we're going to bring it up here. As you can see, it is homemade chicken pot pies are $9.99. I might have to grab one of those on my way out the door because I get 10 cents Fuel Saver. Those are great to throw in the freezer. Across our household, that is the favorite food of my oldest child, is chicken pot pie. And so we might have to grab a couple of those on my way out the door. Caramel dip, it's that time of year. Get your apples and caramel dip, 5 cents off. Captain Morgan, 750 milliliters, $13.99 and 10 cents off. So your spiced punch drinks for your Halloween celebrations, that's perfect for that. Sliced cheese, $7.99 a pound and 5 cents off. Mushrooms, you got your 2 cents off. And then when it looks like we've got some Hy-Vee Chinese deals there at the bottom, they're 10 cents off per gallon. A Hy-Vee Chinese 2 entree meal, great option for a Friday lunch. Come in, get a nice $7 lunch, and get 10 cents off on your Fuel Saver. Here's some of the bigger ones, 5 cents off your salmon portions. Hy-Vee's ham salad, 10 cents off. Kettle One vodka, 10 cents off your Fuel Saver card, and on sale for $20. 25 cents for your AA batteries. It's almost Christmas. I know it's crazy to think that way, but I buy like 100 batteries every December. I'm going to buy some this week so I can get some 25 cents off on my Fuel Saver. Garlic toast, as well as some light bulbs. You get 12 cents off on some light bulbs, 60, 70, 100 watt 4-packs. Your cornbread muffins and cornbread, 15 cents for a $4.99 package of that. So 15 cents off your Fuel Saver as well there. So big deals, big savings here at Hy-Vee this morning. And we got also some great help here with team staffing that's going to be able to give us. They've got some jobs available as well. So we can go to the team staffing job board. And we've got the team staffing job board coming up here. Another great supporters of Hy-Vee Today. Oh, it's going to be a wet one. I'm pretty sure they sell umbrellas here. You might want to pick one of those up if you're missing that. So you can get your umbrella here at Hy-Vee. I don't know. Maybe I'm totally just going off and they don't sell umbrellas. If so, just blame me. Your job board with team staffing. Call Brooke. There's a machine operator position open. That's a first shift job. 563-316-7636 or email careers@teamssi.com. Also, first and second shift welding shift jobs in Wilton. 10 to 15 hours of overtime per week. That's great. $11 to $13 an hour. Contact Jenny at 563-316-7636. 835. And now hiring some process operators. Call Katie at 563-316-7639. Base pay on those jobs, $18.55 an hour. A rotating 12-hour shift, comprehensive benefits. Again, call Katie for those process operator positions at Team Staffing, 563-316-7639. Oh, it's been a fun Friday. It's going to be a nice night for some Muskie High School football. Go check it out. Senior night. We had Jake Mueller on Wednesday. Big thank you to all of our guests who have come in, and thank you again to my employers, Affordable Metal Manufacturing, for allowing me to come. And don't forget, if you need a metal roof, or if you don't know that you need a metal roof and just want to learn more about it, give me a call at 563-264-8212. A huge thank you to Media Tree, Chad Yoakum, Ryan Broderson, and Betsy, who do a great job with this show, and they let me come in and stumble and wing it. And I put them on the spot a lot, and they are outstanding at their jobs and letting me be the guest host. And hopefully, I know that Tony is looking forward to coming back. Talked to him last night. He misses doing this show. He actually likes you guys. He likes to talk to Muscatine every day, and I do too. That sounded like I don't. I absolutely do. But it's a blast to do this and get my feet wet again in the broadcasting world. And we're happy for Tony and his family as they welcomed their new daughter into the world, and everything seems to be going really well. So, again, thank you so much for tuning in to Hy-Vee Today. You know, I got a grocery list texted to me during the show, so I get to go do some grocery shopping and talk about all the deals that we need that we talked about early on this morning. So thank you again. Have a great weekend. Go Hawks. Go Cyclones. Go Rock Ridge. I know they've got a big game tonight. Lots of high school area action hopefully getting underway in sports. And don't forget, the Muskie Marching Band competition is tomorrow out at the high school, so there's a cool event that you can go check out in our community as well. And remember, you can always rewatch this broadcast on YouTube, on Facebook, and at Hy-Vee Today. And then you also can view it on Muscatine Power and Water on Channel 5 and Channel 705. Thanks so much for spending your morning with me, and enjoy the rest of your day, and stay dry, Muscatine.
Thanks for watching Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone. We'll do it again tomorrow with more local guests from in and around the Muscatine community. Questions, comments, know a great guest? Reach out to Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone on Facebook or via email, hyveetoday@gmail.com.
Find everything.
Well, let's see how the bounce back tonight. I think Drew told me that this was going to be the side.
I did. Yes, ma'am.
Of course, it's going to be in the center. We'll see how the time gets back. We'll see the waterproof ball. Oh, sure will.
Yeah. Oh, my legs are in there. Yeah. Enjoy the weather.
Adam, can you call 131, please? 131.